Hill with Edwin and Ezekiel Ryan. We're getting started with Week 2, Thursday's night game against the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens, an NFC North battle. What do you think about that, Easy?
I like it, but it's AFC North.
Good AFC North game. All right. So now, as we kick back, sit back, we want you to do one thing that's most important to us, and that is check us out. Hi, it's the Eddie and Easy Show. I'm Eddie.
I'm Easy.
And it's another Thursday night football game coming upon us. So, we're kicking off Week 2 of the NFL, 2014 NFL season. And there already have been a lot of twists and turns so far, but we'll save that for our next show, all right?
Alright. Pittsburgh is fresh off its win against the Browns. It started as a dominant performance by the Steelers, but the Browns rallied just enough to make it close.
Now, the Ravens lost to the Bengals at home and are now a team mired in scandal. Will this prove to be a distraction, or will it drive the team closer together? We shall see. Now for an EDS moment.
Although it is difficult to estimate the overall frequency of Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, the combined prevalence of all types of this condition may be about 1 in 5,000 individuals worldwide. Excuse me. The hypermobility in classic forms are most common. The hypermobility type may affect as many as 1 in 10,000 till 15,000 people, while the classic type probably occurs in 1 in 20,000 to 40,000 people.
Other forms of Ehlers-Danlos syndrome are very rare. About 30 cases of the anthrochalasia type and fewer than 60 cases of the kyphoscoliosis type have been reported worldwide. The vascular type is also rare. Estimates vary widely, but the condition may affect about 1 in 250,000 people. There is, however, a significant amount of overlapping between the types, so these distinctions can become somewhat blurred. If you think you or a family member may have the disease, check with a geneticist for testing. The sooner you know, the better. Trust us. All right, now it's time for the show. At the 1 week of play, the records are Eddie 10-6, Easy, hello.
I am 9-7.
Well, that's about as close as it can get without it actually being tied. Now.
Yeah, but I'm coming up after you.
Are you ready? Well, so are we.
Buckle your chin strap, adjust your shoulder pads,
and lace up those cleats because we are go. I like this music. Matter of fact, this was composed by Easy's brother, my son, Clifford Rhymes. So it's time to get the what? The J-O-B T-O-N-E on the Eddie and Easy Show. Let's do. All right, so now we're about to get to the show. And T-Sizzle says, what? I listen to Eddie and Easy. So as he high-steps it right here on the picture, we're going to high-step it to our breakdown of Thursday night's game. Let's get it going. Okay, so now we come to the positional comparisons. I love it. Offense, all right? So I'm going to start with you. At the quarterback position, who do you pick between the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers?
I pick Ben Roethlisberger, even though he wasn't born in London. I still believe that he's a pretty good quarterback.
Pretty good Big Ben, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
I think that Ben Roethlisberger, I think he's from what I've seen from Joe Flacco, I think he's too inconsistent. But with Ben Roethlisberger, you get somewhat more of an idea of what you're going to get.
Yeah.
Even though sometimes he can look a little bit shady, but overall, you know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
And he is basically like his nickname is perfect because he looks like, when you're trying to tackle him, I don't care even if you got Brandon Williams or big nose tackle and Haloti Ngata coming down. It's really hard to get him down.
Yeah, he's a hard guy to get down.
And he can move. So that is going... So he's basically like a walking tank that can throw the football.
Yeah. Most elusive big quarterback I've seen since like Dante Culpepper.
I knew that you were going to say him.
Yeah, of course. Because that was a big guy who can move too. But even Dante Culpepper, in my opinion, could not extend the play like Big Ben. Big Ben always has his eyes downfield. You think he's rolling out, you think he's going to move up a little bit, and then boom, he finds the open receiver downfield. Nobody does it better. I just think, as you said, I totally agree. When you look at Big Ben, you pretty much know what you're going to get. Joe Flacco, not so much. So, yeah, I agree. At the quarterback position, I give the Steelers the edge as well, too. You can get a first bite of the apple at running back as well, too. What group of backs are you picking?
I am picking Pittsburgh.
Okay.
And it's a pretty secretive fact only to family members and friends that we used to live in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, we used to live in Pittsburgh. Well, yeah, but even in Pittsburgh, you were what?
I was a football player.
You were a Ravens fan.
Yeah.
Favorite jersey was that Ray Lewis jersey. So yeah.
But sorry to get sidetracked, but
moving right along.
Okay.
Okay.
I right after the you know what? I'm not even going to say that.
Scandal, yeah.
Yeah. And plus, I think that Le'Veon Bell and LeGarrette Blount, that's a great 1-2 punch.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I think that even though Bernard Pierce, I think he's a good back, but I don't think he's seen enough time to, butt into, all right, so after this, all right, Bernard, we're going to put you in. You're
going to be the guy that's going to carry us throughout the whole game. Yeah.
And from what I've seen, I haven't seen him get a lot of snaps in the games. And I think that's going to come to their disadvantage.
Yeah. Well, no secret as well. I give the edge to running back to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm going to mention the running back's name. Without Ray Rice, this isn't about whether you agree or disagree with him being kicked out of the league indefinitely. This is about what he brought to the table as a running back for the Baltimore Ravens. And fewer running backs caught the ball as well as he did out of the backfield. And few running backs, was able to be the total package like Ray Rice was. Bernard Pierce has shown that he can carry the ball when called upon. But as a receiving back, as a blocking back, I don't put him on the same level as I would a Ray Rice. You look at LeGarrette Blount and Le'Veon Bell for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and that is a potent combination. I watched LeGarrette Blount against the Cleveland Browns for a little bit, and he just ground them into powder on that game. So I give the edge to the Pittsburgh Steelers as well at the running back position. Now we come to wide receiver, and this was tough. I'll admit this was tough for me, but I gave the edge to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think that you can't separate quarterback from wide receiver because, as I said before, receivers are essentially only as good as the guy who's throwing them the ball. Yeah. So if Ben Roethlisberger is more consistent, I believe that his wide receivers will be more consistent as well too. I will give the edge of Antonio Brown and Marcus Wheaton. And I'm like drawing a blank with the rest of the lineup. Darius Haywood, and Lance Moore for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I believe that Todd Haley has the type of guys he wants to run the offense that he likes to run. I just think that's a bigger advantage over Steve Smith Sr. Now and Torrey Smith and Jacoby Jones. Now Jacoby Jones, he's He's got speed, but his hands, in my opinion, aren't, the best. So I would give the edge to Antonio Brown and Marcus Wheaton and Darius Hayward-Bay and that group of guys. Lance Moore and that group of guys. I just think they're better at the wide receiver position. Who did you go with?
As shall I. Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's starting to look like a landslide right now. I'm so sorry, Baltimore.
Can you help a brother out?
Yeah, but as far as being sidetracked, I'm not going to do it when you're sipping water. Oh, I just did it again.
Yeah, you did. Okay.
I think that even though with Emmanuel Sanders gone,
mm-hmm.
I think that they plugged in Lance Moore.
Mm-hmm.
They got Darius Hayward-Bay, two good slot receivers.
Yeah.
And
who can stretch the field. I mean, Darius Hayward-Bay can. Lance Moore is more of a...
like a slant guy.
Yeah.
And they got Antonio Brown. He is a slot build, but he is he's the number one type of receiver talent.
Yeah, well, you can't put a label on him.
Yeah.
He can play outside as well as he can play inside.
He's also a great punt returner
mm-hmm.
also, and kick returner.
And the reason why they didn't have any problem letting Mike Wallace go to the Dolphins.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, even though Emmanuel Sanders, he plugs in Emmanuel Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
And they got nice backup with Marcus Wheaton.
Mm-hmm.
They got plug and play guys with Darius Hayward-Bay
mm-hmm.
and Lance Moore.
Yeah.
So I like this deal.
Yeah, I do too. Do you first swing of the whip here at tight end? Who did you go with?
Pittsburgh.
Go ahead.
Even though Dennis Pitta, he's turning into a great tight end. I'm not saying that he's great right now.
Mm-hmm.
He's very good. He's starting to turn into a great tight end. But this was really hard, Heath Miller. Heath Miller, he was already great before Dennis Pitta even got in the league.
Yeah.
And Heath Miller, he can block, he can catch.
Yeah.
And speed, I don't think there's a problem for him. Because all he needs to do is brawl over guys. and he is just a wonderful talent.
Yeah.
I think he might even be a shot in the Hall of Fame when he's done.
Whoa, lofty ambitions. Okay, I'll give you what I got. I agree. I go with the Steelers having the edge at tight end. There's not enough you can say about the comfort level a quarterback has with his guy. And Ben Roethlisberger is extremely comfortable with Heath Miller. You're right. He doesn't run as fast as, like a Jimmy Graham or even a Gronkowski, but he always seems to be able to get open. So, who cares about speed if you can get open?
He's like a huge walking tank version of Fred Belitnikov.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, he always gets open. So, I go with Heath Miller at tight end because he is a better blocking tight end than Dennis Pitta. Dennis Pitta has turned into a pretty good receiving tight end. I've never been really sold on his blocking ability, so definitely you have to give the edge to Heath Miller at tight end. Now we're going to go to the offensive line, and I went with, the Baltimore Ravens on this. We talk about how well Ben Roethlisberger is able to escape, but it has to be troubling how many times he has to escape. This is what I'm saying. We talk about, man, that Ben Roethlisberger, he's sure elusive, and then we have to think about, well, why does he have to keep being as elusive as he is? It's because there's still, for my taste, too many breakdowns in the Pittsburgh Steelers offensive line. I haven't seen that be the case with the Ravens offensive line. I just give them the edge, just on spec, just being able to the Baltimore Ravens offensive line passes the eye test better than the Pittsburgh Steelers offensive line does, and that's what I got. That's what I got.
Yeah, even though I am picking Baltimore,
mm-hmm.
even though they can get some penalties.
Mm-hmm.
But from what I've seen, Pittsburgh has been getting a lot of penalties, a lot of injuries,
mm-hmm.
and guys being suspended.
Yeah.
And right now, all I see is just some flags and one injury that I saw from Eugene Monroe.
Right.
And I would take that any day from all
the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, I would take that any day, even though they might not. I think that they might not have as good as a line, but there's less troubles to go with there. I think that overall, Pittsburgh has the best line, but they have too many troubles.
Yeah, I don't know. When it comes to athletic ability, yeah, I could probably give that a slight nod to Pittsburgh. But the Ravens just seem to have their act together when it comes to offensive line in a way that the Pittsburgh Steelers do not. So now we have gotten through the offense. Now it's time for defense. All right.
My favorite thing.
Yeah, and Easy and I love us some defense. All right. So now we come to the defensive line, something I never played, but Easy played. Defensive line. So who do you pick for defensive line here?
I pick Baltimore. From what I see from the Pittsburgh Steelers defensive line. I don't know who Cam Thomas is.
I don't know who you are. I do, but yeah, go ahead.
I've heard something about Steve McClendon. Wait a minute. No, I think I'm talking about the guy from the Ravens.
Okay. Let's get down to the brass tacks line. You still haven't mentioned what's most important about the defensive line for the Ravens.
I'm getting to it.
Okay, let's get to it then.
I think Haloti Ngata, which is now my favorite player, taking over Ray Lewis since he retired.
Okay.
I think that he is a leader. He's a quiet leader. Yeah. But he is. When you can't hear him, you can still see him. He enters that defensive line. Yeah. And you can see when he was injured last year, you can see a major drop in their performance last year. Yeah. And they got Chris Kenny, a nice veteran. He's a good 3-4 defensive end. I think he's a good fit in their system. And they got Brandon Williams. He got some nice college stats from Southern Missouri. Right. And he's a big guy, 6'1", 335. I don't really like his size. So I'm picking Baltimore.
Okay. All right. I'm picking Baltimore as well too. I don't think I've ever been as impressed with the ability to move by a big man as I am by Haloti Ngata. Yeah. For a guy that size, he can move. Now, because of some of the injuries that he's experienced over the past couple of seasons, you can definitely see it slowed him down some. But that for a big guy, he can still move. You can pretty much say that Terrell Suggs is outside linebacker / defensive end.
Because they run a hybrid.
Right. So T-Sizzle on the outside is always a problem for any team that's going to be facing him. So whether he's got his hand in the dirt or whether he's standing up, T-Sizzle is going to be a problem for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I give the edge to the defensive line of the Ravens in this. Don't get me wrong. I think that Pittsburgh's defense can never be underestimated. With Kiesel and is it Hayward?
Yep, Cameron
Hayward. These guys anchoring that line. They're no slouches either.
No.
But if you have to compare the two, you would have to give the edge to the Baltimore Ravens. Way I see it, at least.
And like you said, Brett Kiesel, I'm glad that he shaved his beard. But I don't know how long that's going to last.
Yeah, I don't know. Because I like shave mine, it always seems to grow back. All right, so now we get to the linebackers, and I give the edge. We both gave the edge to.
And it's very cool, like I said, with the hybrid defense, that we can use.
Same guys.
Exactly. We can use Terrell Suggs as a vouching argument for defensive line and linebackers.
So let's go down. T-Sizzle, C.J. Mosley.
Daryl Smith. Courtney Upshaw. Or Elvis Dumervil.
Yeah.
Both are good. That's actually, I think, is a good problem.
It's about as stacked at linebacker as you can get. Now, let's not fall asleep on the Steelers either.
Yeah, they got
Timmons, Shazier, that kid out of Ohio State.
Jarvis Jones.
Yeah, Jarvis Jones.
Jason Worlds.
Exactly. So these guys aren't asleep at the switch at linebacker. When you look at these two defenses, it's neck and neck almost. But when it comes to certain areas, because of the experience factor, because T-Sizzle is experienced, because Doomerville is experienced, because Upshaw, even though he's in his third year,
yeah,
he still went to a Super Bowl, so he know what it means to be on a Super Bowl winning team. Whereas, I believe Timmons. Yeah, I believe Timmons and Darrell Smith. I believe Timmons is the only one from that linebacking crew that's left over from their last Super Bowl winning team.
Darrell Smith has been in the league for 11 years.
Yeah, so he's so excuse me. So we have these guys left over from that last Super Bowl winning team of the Ravens. So I give the edge at linebacker. Who do you we got yours up. What's your reasons though?
I think that there's more. I mean, you got Darrell Smith. He was, remember when he was in Jacksonville? I can't remember this player's name.
Right.
But they were a good linebacking core.
Mm-hmm.
And they got C.J. Mosley. I mean, he was racked with awards last year.
Right. Exactly. At Alabama, yeah.
Yeah, they got Terrell Suggs.
You have to excuse me, people out there. I have a slight, condition when it comes to my throat. So never mind the coughing you hear in the background. It's all good. All right.
With Terrell Suggs, I mean, he's been in the league this is his 12th year. And, I mean, he's still playing like he's in his 5th year.
Right.
And from what I see from Terrell Suggs, he gets better as he gets older.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely does.
Yeah.
You see a few more tricks come out of his bag.
Yeah.
And I think he's coming to his own even more after, Ray Lewis left and he had to step up as the de facto leader of that defense when Ed Reed and Ray Lewis were no longer there. Yeah.
Those
All right.
are my reasons.
All right. So now we come to the secondary, and I picked the Pittsburgh Steelers. Palomalu, Ike Taylor, Willie Gay.
Not that other Gay.
Yeah, I just think that not Marvin. You're right, not Marvin Gaye. Yeah. So we have an evenly matched almost secondary here, and I believe that when it's all said and done, that the Pittsburgh Steelers secondary probably perform at a higher level than the Baltimore Ravens actually perform at. So I'm looking at this. You have to excuse me for my slight, blanking out here when we're talking about the secondaries, because as we say here in the Rhymes family, Jadwe, Jadwe, just another day with EDS. Sometimes it throws us a little bit. So have patience with us out there in the broadcast land there. Those who are listening to us, sometimes we get thrown off a little bit with our disease here. So right now, I would give the edge to the Pittsburgh Steelers at the defensive and the defensive secondary. I think that Dick LeBeau probably schemes better than any defensive coach in the NFL right now. The only thing that's stopping Dick LeBeau from doing what he's done in the past at a higher level is that the talent level has gone down a little bit in Pittsburgh. But I still give them the edge in secondary. Who do you pick?
I pick Baltimore. And I say this because of Ladarius Webb. Even though he was injured for most of the 2013 season, I still think that he's their main cornerback.
Right.
And I think that with Jimmy Smith, he's a nice physical addition to their secondary. Even though he was drafted 2 years ago, I still think that he's also another underrated player.
Mm-hmm.
He jams coverage very well.
Yeah.
I like Matt Elam. And the secondary, he's kind of like a mixture of a ball hawk and a physical player.
Yeah. I think you can't go wrong if you pick either one of these secondaries. I just think that from once again, the experience factor, I give the edge to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Not a very big edge, a slight one, but to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now we come to the part of the game, that's often overlooked. We talk about offense and defense, and sometimes we don't talk about special teams and coaching, which to me is rather silly. So you give the edge to the Baltimore Ravens when it comes to special teams. Exactly why? I wonder.
I really like Sam Cooke as a punter.
You know what's funny? We go on a lot with these 60s R&B singers. Yeah. Sam Cooke was an R&B singer. He's like Willie Gay and Marvin Gaye. So yeah, what's going on? All right.
I like Sam Cooke. I like him. He's a coffin corner type of punter. Justin Tucker. I mean, he was nailing them from deep range, and he was.
I'm sorry, I can't get the song out of my head now.
Okay.
Don't know much about history. Go ahead.
I like Jacoby Jones. I like Jacoby Jones as a punt returner. I think he's proven himself to be one of the best returners in the game right now. And with Antonio Brown, I give the edge because Jacoby Jones is both a kick returner and a punt returner. Okay. Antonio Brown's just a punt returner.
Okay.
So I like that. I like that they got him playing both positions.
Yeah. Well, I give the edge to the Baltimore Ravens as well too. I think that both Antonio Brown and Jacoby Jones are great returners. But I watched Jacoby Jones in the in the Super Bowl and in the playoffs. And Jacoby Jones, to me, has more big game ability than Antonio Brown does. It seems like you put Jacoby Jones on that stage where everybody's watching, boom, he performs. I also give the edge at kicker to Justin Tucker. After watching what he did in Detroit a year ago, that long field goal to win the game, I mean, he won me after that. So I would give the edge to the Baltimore Ravens. Let's realize this. I believe Schweizum is the kicker for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They had to bring him back. They had let him go, and they brought him back for some reason. So anytime you have to, you're playing a guy that you let go and then just brought back before the season actually started. Yeah, I'm gonna give the edge to the other guy. All right. So now we come to coaching, and I give the edge to the Steelers. You think about this is a short week. Okay? As a team, the Baltimore Ravens let go of their franchise running back. I can't think of a team that needs a longer week than the Baltimore Ravens do. And I can't help but think that this becomes the story. The Ray Rice story becomes the Baltimore Ravens story. And I believe that in this short week, John Harbaugh, in my opinion, cannot help but be distracted. And the team, to a certain extent, can't help but be distracted. I think that Mike Tomlin gets the edge in coaching in this particular game because, I'd be quite honest, had none of the things transpired this week that have for the Baltimore Ravens, I probably went in John Harbaugh's direction as far as being the better coach. But when it comes to this game, I just think that Mike Tomlin has less on his plate. I think Mike Tomlin is coming off a very tough win against Cleveland, but still a win. Baltimore's coming off of losing a game at home to a division rival, the Cincinnati Bengals, and the whole Ray Rice scandal. And the questions about how did they handle it, when did they know what they knew, and that sort of thing. All those things. So I think that plays a major part in how this game actually plays out. And I can't help but give the edge in coaching to Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers in this particular game. Who are you going with?
I'm going with Baltimore. I think that with John Harbaugh, I think he carries the team, and he carries the team with respect. And I think that even with this whole Ray Rice things,
Mm-hmm.
I think that he can still keep the players focused.
Mm-hmm.
I think that he can carry the team.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that he's, especially for this team right now, he's the right coach. He's the right coach for them.
Okay.
And especially with his mentality.
No. I can agree with everything you just said. He is. He does a wonderful job of keeping his team focused. This is uncharted territory for him, though. And that's why I would give the slight. As I told you, had this not gone down, this week like it's going down for the Ravens, I probably would have went in the direction of John Harbaugh. But too short of a week, I think, to overcome all that. All right, and so we go with my guy, who we come to the segment called "Let Me Talk to You." And my guy is, as you can see on there, I couldn't find him in the Pittsburgh Steelers, uniform, but he is playing against the Ravens on the New England Patriots in the game. LeGarrette Blount. I got one sentence for you, brother. Pound the rock, brother, because you're going up against a pretty good defense. And the only way you're going to slow those guys down and soften them up is some good, hard, tough running up the gut from LeGarrette Blount, from you, LeGarrette Blount, and getting spelled by your partner in the backfield, Le'Veon Bell. I believe, LeGarrette, that you have the ability to be a game changer in this game. I believe you have the ability to slow down the pass rush of the Baltimore Ravens. They can't pin their ears back and come after, your guy Ben Roethlisberger if you're running that ball up the gut. They got to keep an extra eye on you. So, very few big men have had your speed and agility. So I expect great things from you tonight, LeGarrette Blount. But I guess, like everybody else, I will just have to wait and see if it's true. I'm done talking to you, LeGarrette. Good luck. Who you want to talk to?
I want to talk to Joe Flacco. Well, everything that looked good has not even... Alright, at least if he hadn't got suspended, at least you got him at week 6. But now, everything's changed. And so, you need to carry the team on your back. And you need to talk to your new starting running back, Bernard Pierce. You need to carry the team, you need to carry the defense, and you need to carry the offense. I know that people have been doubting you, but I believe in you.
All right. Done talking?
Yep.
All right. Well, if you're done talking, what does that mean? That's it for the Eddie and Easy Show. Boom. I'm Eddie. Oh, hold on. Not yet. How could I forget this? We got to actually pick who's going to win the game. Who do you pick, Easy?
I picked Pittsburgh.
Yeah, yeah. I picked Pittsburgh too.
Yeah.
Maybe the reason why I was rushing back into the outro here is because it was a foregone conclusion that we actually picked them. You can't pick them as many times as we did in offense, defense, special team and not think they're going to win the game.
And you didn't want to hurt my feelings.
No, I didn't want to hurt your feelings. So, now we come to the last part of the show, the very sad part, where we have to say, that magic word, that thankful word. This is the Eddie and Easy Show. I'm Eddie.
I'm Easy.
And we say goodbye.